final. But for now, we have to figure out who's going to get there. It's going to be Prodigy and it's going to be FABRIKEN trying to win their way into the grand finals. Gentlemen, last game. Let's find out.
Well, FABRIKEN going to be on the attacking side then. See what they can come up with here. I personally would rather be defending first on bind, but I know that you are of an opposite thought, hypoc, and you prefer to attack first, so it all comes down to personal preference. The default execute has come out in the pistol round, rather than the pistol round, which is somewhat of a slightly different thing, but Luck is down to just 2 HP. He gets taken down by Shadow. Spike has now been planted. Hip gets aggressive, takes down Zipan. Shadow is there for his second of the round, and now Rhyme is in the vantage point of heaven here. Does have Ghost to work with. There's a couple of players just grouped up in U-Bend next to Lamps. Whereas Meadow has worked his way into Showers. Turco will eliminate Latex and Shadow as Pora takes down Meadow. And I tell you what, this is looking a lot better for Prodigy now. FABRIKEN down to just the one. It's just going to be Leo. Has darts to work with, but not going to be enough. Now Prodigy open things up on their defensive half, as you would expect with how they were able to retake that one and how they were able to reposition themselves when it was a big double frag there in Lamps.
It was, yeah. And again, I mean, Leo had a chance to clutch that up there. He shot the recon in. Obviously, that gives his position away, but maybe he could have played around that cage a little better there. If he did get a couple of pings. Again, it's a tall order to ask somebody to go 1v3 when the pressure's on. And obviously, the defuse is imminent, but we are going to see FABRIKEN force up a couple of SMGs and a Bulldog. Leo's going to hold on to his Ghost. So they're obviously looking to counteract the pistol round win. You're going to see the double default smokes come down on a site again. Zipan's going to find Lucka, and that's him falling first twice now in a row. Hip actually going to walk through this guy. Smoke is going to find one. He's going to find the planter as well. That's really good. Shadow going to respond with 2 of his own, so going 2 apiece. So the spike still going to go down here. Both players rotating back over from the B site, and you got to think this one is going to be a hold for FABRIKEN in a 3v2 situation.
Well, certainly at first glance with how both players are rotating from the same position, but no one to watch this defending door. Which means they can both push together into Lamps. If they can connect with the bullets onto Shadow, which they can't, the flash comes out. Shock darts there and available as Shadow gets a 4K. I mean, Shadow had almost done a big job in the first round on the pistol round, but now what a huge round that is for FABRIKEN. Sending Prodigy right back. And it's going to be a force back, it looks, by Prodigy, not Prodigy.
You're losing it. You're losing.
I mean, who'd have thought?
We're secretly hoping for a 3-0 in the finals, and not for all the right reasons, I will say. We are going to get a force buy back from Prodigy, and that's going to be them tapped out, except for 200 credits on Hip, and he's going to be rocking the judge going into this one. So have to wait and see what happens. Pora's going to get tagged up on that. He's going to have to opt to take the TP, and there is a Meadow waiting outside, but he's not going to challenge. He's going to force Pora all the way into Showers, but he was the solo player on the B site now. You can see the owl drones are going to come in. It's not going to spot anybody at all, and FABRIKEN are going to absolutely collapse onto B site here. See a couple of people challenging from the defensive spawn. Zipan going to find Turco with the stinger. Going to throw a paint shell in there for good measure, and Luck are going to come around to elbow.
Spike's been planted. And the post-plant positions are, for the majority, very heavily on the site, except for the big old rotate coming elsewhere. Rhyme kind of stuck in the moment on this defending door. Flash will come out just to be able to try and give a little bit of a sight line and a push out from Shadows, and he will take down Rhyme. Meadow gets Pora, who was on a little bit of a flank. And Hip, unfortunately, with the judge, doesn't really have the option of pushing onto the site. Has to wait for someone to push him, but Shadow relentless right now. Gets a 3K with the Bulldog. FABRIKEN take a 2-1 lead, and now Prodigy are going to have to just eco here.
And now, it's interesting, because if FABRIKEN can get a bit of wind in their sails, I mean, it should be very much doable when you got to play a 9-1 coming into the 4th round. they might be able to get a couple of rounds on the bounce, and that is definitely the kind of momentum you want to build on the attacking side, because we know how strong they can be on defense here.
4 members are going to burst straight through middle, though. Turco will at least get 1, but the rest of this crew, they're not going to be able to find anything. Poorer, the last remaining player. I don't think actually Latex knows he is to his left, and the rest is just going to retreat over to B and get the plant, but it doesn't matter. Latex will eventually turn back on Poorer. Just a very quick round from Prodigy. Quite rightly so, just trying to do a little bit of something with a throwaway round. You never know, you might be able to catch one player off guard, pick up a rifle, and then do something with said rifle. Do see 3 ultimates available on the side of FABRIKEN. Orbital Strike there. Showstopper available as well, so that can be very influential. Of course, Rolling Thunder, so 3 decent ultimates for pushing onto a site. Defensively, Prodigy also have a Showstopper and an Orbital Strike of their own, so post-plan is going to be interesting here. Lots of zoning possibilities with these ults too.
Poorer dancing with the devil inside the aftershock there. Rolling Thunder going to come out. It's not going to catch anybody, but it is going to zone them off. Orbital Strike going to close off Wood there. And that is going to stop the push into B long. 3 members over here to defend the B site. Or counter Orbital Strike actually going to clear out Elbow, but there's 1 player, Turco, just tucked away in the corner there with a Vandal. And there you go. He's going to find the first one. Rhyme's going to find 2 as well. But 3 kills going back over in favor of FABRIKEN. Now Spike is down on the ground, not planted just yet. Let's see if they can recover this attack.
Just holding a little bit of cross, but it hasn't worked out for them. Prodigy did so much better defensively that now they had some weapons to work with. FABRIKEN still did have a couple of bulldogs here or there, so it was kind of a round they knew it was potential they were going to throw away. They valued their economy over the round, and now it means they will get a full bite. Op available on Shadow. And I'm interested to see this Shadow versus Lucka matchup again. They've both been so good with the Op today.
Wait. That's the same knife-bearing bunny from Ascent. With a bandana.
It's almost like he's haunting you at this point, isn't he? Following you around.
Not as much as the monkeys from Haven.
Oh, they're, yeah, terrifying. More of a default approach now from FABRIKEN. Spread entirely across the map here, waiting to see if there's any sort of aggression from Prodigy. The information trying to be gathered from Lucka with the Owl drone. We'll go through the teleport. Will he actually catch the player to the left? No, he won't. Showstopper comes out and is fired into Showers, but Lucka rips the kill away from him. And now FABRIKEN are down to just 4. And this is the only problem I feel with being patient and waiting for those picks, is that if you do find yourself a man down, it can be difficult, but at least Latex was able to get the 1 player in Shadows. In Showers. Shadows is an entirely different place. And now the Spike can go down on A here. Hunter's Fury is available. There is also a res here for Rhyme. There's 3 players around there in lamps. Has to be careful. He's going to wall himself over, it looks, but he also gets joined by a teammate. Zipan may caught a wind of this, though. Finds one, gets the spread on, can't get the second. FABRIKEN, they're just holding this so successfully, but as I say, that 1 falls, and it's a 2 versus 2. Poorer is going to push in, see if he can find another. 1 player is in lamps and 1 in Showers. Time is running out, so they have to get aggressive. Turco wins against Latex and gets the 3rd.
Nice.
Huge kills from Turco. And just with milliseconds remaining, we'll put another one on the board for Prodigy.
Nice retake, though. Really good stuff so far. Again, tie game, 3-3. Not going to be too detrimental to the economy of FABRIKEN, but you can see for Prodigy, a couple of worrying numbers there.
So at 3-3, this is how we expected Bind to go, I think, between these two teams. Kind of taking one round away from each other at a time. He does get tagged and just desperately trying to avoid Hunter's Fury here, but not able to get away. That's what happens when you are tagged by the dart. So Lucka gets the opener. Hip gets one through the wall, and Lucka now with the op shot as well. Which means that FABRIKEN down to just the 2 remaining players. Meadow has at least made something of this round. And actually, Zipan makes this a possibility for FABRIKEN. Zipan and Meadow go back to a 2 versus 2. Prodigy do have the Resurrect available. So perhaps FABRIKEN will still continue to focus this A site because of that. If they were to just opt to go towards B, then it just gives up a free Resurrect potential. And you can see Rhyme edging his way out of heaven, thinking about it. Meadow on a slither of health. Means that it's still advantage Prodigy in this situation.
The one thing to consider, there is a showstopper as well, and Zipan's actually going to find his 3rd on the round. Rhyme will fall in heaven, and there you go, jumps straight up. He actually kills Meadow with his blast pack just to get the kill. And I'll allow it. I'll allow it in this one situation, Dan.
4-3 now for FABRIKEN. And they've got a lot of money to work with, whereas Prodigy, it's going to have to be an eco round for them. And the fact that they are just kind of going toe-to-toe here and trading round for round, and it is so close, it's difficult for either team to gain any momentum at the moment. Very back and forth and swingy, which means it's entirely unpredictable, which is always making it a better watch. Meadow gets the opener onto Turk. And Shadow will also follow onto Rhyme. So now FABRIKEN will have the man advantage, make that a 3-player advantage pushing onto site. Hip will at least find the first onto Shadow for himself. We've seen him hit some insane Sheriff shots, but it's not going to continue here. And that's going to be the round going in favor of FABRIKEN. And now they're starting to put some more on the board here on this attacking side. And 5 rounds attacking on Bind, that's already good enough. And they'll be looking to make that more.
Yeah, really good stuff so far from FABRIKEN. Again, I've said it before, but they look so much more decisive now, Dan. That first game of the day, maybe there was a little bit of a factor to consider coming in cold, but you know, as soon as they're getting an entry now onto sites, they're acting on it, and they generally look a lot better set up. That you can see now they're not going for a default setup. They're not looking for picks. They're going for these executes, playing off the owl drone this time around. You're going to see default smokes come down. Now Shadow going to try and set up a flashpoint for the boys to go in with. Latex with another sky smoke, and again, just the entry here is almost gifted to them. Lucka's actually going to pick Zipan off before the showstopper can get sent yet again. 3 players now all the way back in the defensive spawn, 2 stacked up towards heaven. And actually Turco is going to find Leo on a long flank there. He's going to find Latex as well. Now Meadow got to hold the 4 outside showers. He's going to play this little corner here. I don't think he got information on both of them, but Neural Theft going to get popped. That's going to force the peek out from Meadow. He's going to find Turco. Shadow now outside lamps with an operator. He's stuck inside 2 cages, and there you go. Lucka's going to push in and clean him up, and Prodigy will reply again, bringing the scoreline to 5-4.
Nice retake from Prodigy. Unfortunately for FABRIKEN, it just didn't quite work out on that occasion. Just not able to get the angles they would have liked in the post plant. Still just about money to buy up again for FABRIKEN though, so no real concern for them. 5-4. Again, if they can get 6, I mean, it's definitely a game at the moment that looks like it's going to go to a 6-6. It could go to a 12-12. It was the same as Split. Like these teams just look so close. The same on Ascent.
25 rounds.
Pora gets 2 frags early on. That's the perfect start for this round for Prodigy. They try and back off onto the site. They smoke themselves off so it can be a comfortable one, but Shadow says, well, I'm not going to make that comfortable for you. Sprays down and does a lot of damage to two of the players. Three versus 5 is very difficult on Bind. Because the rotate is so quick on a map like this, because of the teleporters, because of the quick access through the defender's side, it's not as easy as a map like Split, for example, and Ascent, where you can maybe take a site even when you are a couple of players down. But it does look like they're going to be opting to go towards B here, hypoc.
And a couple of tagged up players. You see, Pora's going to get a heal, but Turco going to stay in glass. Now Latex going to come off, try and molly off inside the tube. The slow warp comes into Hookah. 28 seconds left on the clock. Trap wire getting popped, and the spy cam goes up as well. Turco's actually going to swing out, find the headshot on Shadow. That's going to put them down to 2, and Pora will pick up 2 headshots inside of Hookah, and that will be a tie game again, Dan. And now they're just trading blow for blow right now.
I believe you mean B window.
I don't think I do.
Well, Prodigy find their 5th, and they will make the money somewhat awkward here for FABRIKEN. Whilst there are a couple of rifles, there's also SMGs and Sheriffs. They will have enough money to buy in the final round, though, so we'll see what they can do in this round. Maybe they'll go for something a little bit funky. Unfortunately, the one area they've decided to stack is where the owl drone is, and I like that. I like one player actually just opting to face it, destroy it, before it sees multiple people. Flash comes out into showers, and the push will also follow. A lot of utility just being used to get into the showers, though. And Hip will get the spray down onto Latex. The showstopper comes through. Doesn't connect, but maybe a little bit of damage done. Orbital Strike also falls onto the site. Lucka gets one with the shock dart, and Hip also finding one with the Vandal. Which means this push was already tough for FABRIKEN, but it becomes even harder now. Even if Leo is going to hit a couple of shots with the Sheriff, it's just going to be down to the final remaining player of Meadow. 1 versus 4. Has a Vandal. I don't think he has much hope. Can go for it, of course, because they did have plenty of money going into the next round to buy up. Who knows? Maybe he could just world start them here, and that's the perfect start. Takes down Rhyme up in heaven, looks for the second, but Lucka just peeks out and gets the op. 6-5 for Prodigy now. And this has 6-6 written all over it.
It does indeed.
Can't wait for this to go to overtime.
Just
watch Mixwell cry.
Yeah, I mean, me and Dan are probably going to be the first 2 to cry, and it will be on camera, so it's definitely something to consider.
I'm regretting the fact that yesterday I used my triple espresso monster taurine drink.
You need to have another one in like a glass case that you need to
I don't have. Yeah, you just don't. It is time. Don't have one of those today. Maybe that's something I can try and order off Deliveroo. Who knows? But FABRIKEN certainly will want to put a 6th on the board rather than going into the second half 7-5 down. As I mentioned earlier, I still think 5 rounds is pretty good attacking on Bind. They've been able to coordinate fairly well in some of the earlier rounds, and their executes haven't been bad. They do have ultimates to work with. Rolling Thunder and Orbital Strike being the key ones. Maybe Neural Theft can come in handy a little bit later on, but Prodigy have Hunter's Fury as a defensive ultimate, and of course the Resurrect on Sage too. Orbital Strike does come out. Maybe this is a little bit of a fake here because it has been sent towards A and the rest of the team is going to be bursting out towards B. They took a little bit of time, but Zipan does catch Pora with his pants down. Rhyme is going to be there on the defensive door, but tries to work his way out with a very intelligent wall. Unfortunately, Zipan was wise to it. Hunter's Fury there to try and deny the plant from Lucka. Shadow takes down Turco with the op. Now the rest of the squad will be on the site. Showstopper also popped now. Hip takes down Latex. From behind, Zipan trying to see if he can find anything. There is a player in Hookah. He will connect with that to get the 3K. And now it's just Lucker on the side of Prodigy. In a 1 versus 4 with a knock.
Oh, he found one.
But Zipan with the 4K to make it 6-6.
How absolutely predictable and vanilla of these guys to go blow for blow throughout the first half of this game.
I'm going to say it was going to be tough to separate them here, and I think that first half just demonstrates it. They are so evenly matched across the board. I mean, Zipan stepping up, 17 frags. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
If he hadn't have stepped up like that, then FABRIKEN might find themselves a couple more rounds down here.
No, he's been slowly warming up all day, and it's fantastic to see him hit his stride now, coming towards the end. And again, when it matters as well. This is going to be an interesting second half of Bind.
So it is Prodigy's turn to show what they have attacking on Bind. And that was an interesting recon dart. Pora gets the opener onto Latex as well. The recon bolt will be destroyed. Leo just trying to hold lamps at the moment. Will come into contact with Rhyme, then quickly turns to the left. Going to get the shots off. No, he can't. Pora denies it. Pora had no right to survive in that particular gunfight. Boombot goes out from Zipan, but Turco denies him from getting there. And just look at this stack in U-Bend and lamps. They're all so congested, but it means that they can just play back to back and work with each other. And now Shadow in a 1 versus 3. They are weak. He's getting all this utility thrown at him. Does find the first, picks up the ghost, looks for the second, has the flash, but the flash, unfortunately, is his demise. As Prodigy get the opener here. I mean, how many times do you see that as well? In a 1vx situation, a player getting caught out because they've got their abilities out. Always seems to be breach players as well.
It happens to Sage a lot, I'd say. You usually get Sage with her hands above her head, casting an orb of some description.
And I wonder whether that is down to just kind of what game you played before you transitioned into Valorant. Like, are CS players less likely to find themselves in that situation because they rely maybe a bit more on their gun skill? Because once your utility's gone in CS, you're very much used to pushing onto a site without it. Lucker gets Meadow with the shock dart. FABRIKEN going to have to try and hold here with just mere classic pistols, or at least that's all Shadow has anyway. He's in a good spot, but the blast packs are just, I mean, that shock darts and blast packs that have been able to get the first 2 frags. If we'll get the 4th, as Lucker found the 3rd, and I mean, this round was always going to be a bit of a formality, as FABRIKEN didn't try and do anything particularly special. They didn't force up either. Real question is, hypoc, can Prodigy take this momentum now? Can they pick up this 3rd round and maybe look to put a dent into FABRIKEN's hopes of getting to this grand final?
I mean, this is the thing. If they can hold FABRIKEN here, we've seen what happened in the previous game. 4 Spectres on the board for Prodigy right now, so, and it doesn't look like they're going to do anything too crazy. 4 stacked up towards short, and you got that Cypher lurking showers again.
Well, here comes the quick push onto a site. Zipan, though, is there, and he holds, and he manages to get 1. Can't quite get the 2nd, though. At least Leo has found Pora elsewhere, but Turco with the SMG just kind of walking and spraying and finds another onto Meadow. So difficult to hit a moving target sometimes, but at least Leo has got the 3K. Shadow finished things off onto Turco, and FABRIKEN put their first on the board in this half to make it a 7. And not too much damage done to their economy.
No. Again, 4 Spectres on the board, so they're going to bounce right back from that, and they're going to put an operator in the hands of Lucker, who, for the last 2 maps, hasn't been the same Lucker from yesterday.
I mean, maybe he set the bars up quite high, to be fair, with how he was performing, and he's still playing well. Maybe he still has a little bit left in the tank. There's been a lot of Valorant to be played for these teams. We started when? 2 o'clock we started today, so 7.5 hours of action for these guys to go through. I mean, even on the side of G2, even though they haven't necessarily been playing that whole time, they're still waiting around and kind of watching, maybe researching, depending on how much respect they have.
I was going to say, we still potentially got like 2.5 hours for the finals.
Quite possibly. I mean, if it went all the way and it was all 5 games, Shadow takes down Pora through the wall, just the corner of it. FABRIKEN have the player advantage and Prodigy have to reassess. These kind of slow attacks on both sides just haven't worked.
No,
at the same time, when both teams have tried to burst onto sites, they've been met by sheer force of the opposition. So it kind of gets you second guessing yourself. Should we or shouldn't we? They are going to move over to B, though. With only 19 seconds left, though, it's going to have to be a very explosive push. Orbital Strike is going to be used just to try and force anyone off the site. Whoever has the bomb is going to have to plant it and have to plant it soon. Spike is going to go down.
If they deny the plant now, it's, I was going to say, didn't hear it there. Showstopper's going to get popped. Shadow still inside elbow. Meadow looking for an angle onto Rhyme. He's in glass. Showstopper gets sent through to defensive spawner, doesn't find anything. Now, we're going to see everybody stack up, and that Sky Smoke's going to buy a lot of time for these guys. 2 players stacked on site and 2 down towards long with a spy cam to play for as well. Lucker holding the angle with the operator. Rhyme finds 1, Leo finds 2. In return, finds a 3rd as well. This is absolutely huge from Leo. Now, just the 1 member, Turco, finds 1 headshot, but Shadow will close that one out. And that there is a very, very good retake.
Yeah,
really impressive stuff.
So I would expect that. At the same time, Prodigy kind of walked onto site fairly comfortably, considering how late it was in the round. But I think FABRIKEN, as soon as they heard all those footsteps, they said, look, we've got the player advantage. Let's just back off a little bit, allow them to have the site, and then we'll go for the retake. And now Prodigy will be back down to a weak buy. Excuse me, FABRIKEN are going to have this chance now at 8-8. As the colours, once again.
The colours switched up on you, didn't they?
Casting Valorant is like casting in extra hard mode sometimes. So much gets thrown at you when you least expect it. Meadow has a decent camera here to give a lot of information.
He's going to get a lot of it as well.
Meadow gets the first. Shadow follows up with a second hit. Might have been able to do something with the paint shells at the very least. And Pora has been able to worm his way into elbow, but he just walked straight into the bullet of Latex. And all down to Turco. A Sheriff in a dream. Gets hit in the back by the paint shells as well. That's a little bit annoying. Takes a little bit of his life total away. Latex still just firmly holding his angle.
He's looking for a ladder.
Don't get the reference.
It's not even going to explain it to us. That's the sad thing. Just leave us waiting.
Well, do you want me to go at length?
Nope.
Speaking of waiting, here you go. Zipan's patience will finally pay off.
You see, because he wanted to leave, you understand? So maybe a ladder would have gotten him out of that sticky situation he found himself in, you understand? Listen, they can't all be gems, all right? I'm trying to help you out. I know it's been a long day, and my efforts are going unrewarded. I'm going back to sleep.
Sleep well, my prince.
We'll see you after the 2-hour overtime. We're going to get Moses.
You're presuming overtime is going to work. 9-8 in favor of FABRIKEN. And Prodigy need to be careful that they don't fall too far behind now here on their attacking side. If FABRIKEN can continuously reset their economy, things can become more difficult for Prodigy. Will force their backs against the wall and they'll have to pull something out on one of these eco rounds eventually. 2 players are going to be working their way into showers. Zipan is going to be there waiting though, aloft on top of the boxes. Always such a tricky situation to try and face, because if you instantly push out of showers and face that, you're so vulnerable to various different angles on the site. Not only can Zipan cover showers, but he also has this angle on lamps too. At the moment, no one from Prodigy has been brave enough to really try and take any map control here, aside from a little bit of hookah has been controlled, but as I say that's instantly given up anyway.
And now, actually, you're going to see a push out onto a short. 4 players of FABRIKEN going to come around and stack up, try and defend this. Latex in heaven with the operator. Hunter's Fury popped elsewhere. Leodeds is going to find Turco, but the spike, meanwhile, was headed all the way over to hookah, and there's only 1 player over that side of the map to defend the site. And it's going to be Meadow. He's going to find 1. He's going to find 2. That's fantastic work from him. And again, Lucka will fall just outside. And there you go. FABRIKEN will tie that one up. Little bit of a decoy play sent over towards A site, Dan, but initially they took the bait, but Meadow holds the fort on B site.
Well, FABRIKEN with plenty of money. What is going on here? Are the colors now right? Am I going insane?
I'm tending not to look at the colors, Dan.
The scoreboard
I'm gonna be
hates
honest.
me.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna start just forgetting people's names and what team they play for very shortly. But in the meanwhile, we do have 4 players stacked up on B long, and then a lone raise up towards hookah. A couple of sheriffs in hand. Sky Smoke blocking off the archway right now, but that spy cam from Meadow doing what it does best. The cage will get popped here, and a couple of players inside it. The Molotov will come out. He's going to find 1. Only 1, though. Paul is going to trade that out. Neural Theft gets popped, and they get site control. Rhyme's going to get Lucka back on his feet, and Spike will go down on site here.
Hip has the judge, and he is on site. He can be a very dangerous man right now. Leo is going to be the first one to walk into the circle of doom that is the Corsair. Hip, oh my goodness, going on a tear, finds a Zipan as well. Shadow finally shuts him down. It's 3 versus 3. The other 3 players have very firmly backed their way off site. And there is going to be a Hunter's Fury available, so I'm expecting that to be popped now, which it is. The tap was there from Shadow. Turco takes him down, and they're slowly but surely running out of time here. So they're thrifty from Prodigy, despite the fact they were on very poor money. Means they keep themselves in this game. Otherwise, FABRIKEN would have started to run away from things, I feel.
Yeah, and they want to drag this one out. Surprisingly enough, Dan. But
Overtime.
next
Overtime.
next round we're gonna see, and
imagine how hard it is for these guys. Imagine how tired they must be. It's been a long day for these players, man.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. But back into it. We have 3 players pushing towards A short here. Sky Smoke down right now, covering off the line of sight. So we do have, I'm assuming, an operator back in heaven. You can see how far he's tucked away in the corner. Actually, Zipan's going to find Lucka in the showers. And here you go. That's actually going to be the go signal. The default Sky Smoke's full. 1 player moved across towards the teleport. He actually gets tagged up on the recon bolt there. Rhyme's got to be careful. Default wall will go down. He's down to 27 HP, and he's already used his heal. Maybe a little prematurely. Hip going to bait out with the fake plant, and Latex will pop the orbital strike, and that's going to find 1. Hip, in the meantime, sends it all the way through hookah, and they're going to go for a little B push here, potentially. Or maybe just throw down the fake. You see they're slowly going to pull back here.
Well, with Pora finding one on the A site, he's not able to reposition himself as Leo is now going to be in the prime spot to watch short. And he's saying, look, they might be cubby here. Just as he pulls out his utility, though, the smoke comes down. Does tag one with the recon bolt. If he's going to try and get this spike down again, Orbital Strike is going to be there to try and deny, but Leo, through the Orbital Strike, has denied the plan, and FABRIKEN are going to go 11-9 up now. I like the creativity from Prodigy. I like they've tried something a little bit different there, going for the little bit of a fake. Unfortunately, the initial tap of the spike the first time round meant that we just saw the demise of Rhyme, because he had found his way into boxes.
He
was like, oh, brilliant.
Dark.
Yeah, thanks for baiting out the Orbital Strike, buddy.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see light up all of a site when you're only at about 25 HP stuck behind dark box.
Well, money bad again for Prodigy. So can they come up with something a little bit skew with here to try and catch FABRIKEN off guard? The info's already been had that there were players down B long. There is a showstopper available for Hip here. And sometimes a showstopper can be enough just to initiate a push and get a frag, sometimes two. Ryan wants to get up close and personal with this shorty, that's for sure. So we need someone else really to be the peeker, but instead he's the one who does peek. Showstopper is going to be popped and pushed onto site, but no frags found. Oh, as I say that, someone found a frag just before his rocket was able to touch the floor. Pora takes down Shadow as well. So guns have been found here for Prodigy. Maybe something to work with. Just the one Phantom at the moment. Latex coming here through elbow. Does get the spray down onto Turk. Pora will reply, and there is Pora with that Phantom.
That's
what a set of kills.
Huge win there for Prodigy. That would have put FABRIKEN on match point. And it's none other than your man Pora, who time and time again has just been winning 1v1s all over the place. And he won two important ones right there.
Several times now, not just this game, but other games as well. FABRIKEN, when they've had the advantage and they've had the economic advantage, Prodigy have just been able to pin them back with a thrifty. Gotta say, it just shouldn't be able to happen that successfully.
Overtime.
But it does mean we are edging closer and closer towards overtime.
Oh, I love edging towards overtime.
All right.
Yep, that's where we're at.
21 kills for both Zipan and Shadow at the moment. Turco and Hip have been stepping up on the other side. Meadow is going to go for an aggressive peek here, and the flash helps him, but he's not able to get the double spray down, and Hip has gone huge there. Meadow and Shadow, unfortunately, are on the receiving end of just an impressive spray down from him. But here comes Latex maybe to save the day, but unfortunately, he was spotted out by the recon bolt as Hip gets a third with his paint shells. Leo trying to go for the spray down here, but he is again just going to be met by sheer force of Hip. They're here on elbow. The 2 versus 3 tries to go for the spray down to Zipan. Has no right to be able to get that kill. He does make it a 2v2, however they are both low. So it's going to be pretty awkward to try and push back onto this site. Although with both players retreating too long, means at the very least one player can face and one player can stick here. Unfortunately, they line up perfectly for Lucker as he gets the 2 for 1. And we're at 11-11.
Overtime.
Brilliant.
However, I have to be the bearer of bad news, in that the new overtime rules are not enabled for this game.
Who's to blame this time?
Yeah, whose fault was it? In fact, no, that's not name and shame. It's not name and shame this time.
It was hypoc. It's hypoc's fault.
Yeah, I'm definitely not hosting the lobby. That's not on me.
Hopefully it doesn't come down to that. That's all I'm going to say. I would like to see this one won by 2 rounds.
I'd like to see the sun come up in Hypoc's window again.
Well, you know, maybe if we have a long best-of-5 series, we'll see that.
Well, I'm being told that the overtime should be enabled for that best of 5, so
Yes.
I mean, it's still possible. I mean, you already saw the sun come up on my webcam last time we worked together, Moses, but that was a North American tournament, so it was slightly different.
Yeah, it's 2:46 in the afternoon here. I'm just about to have my second coffee of the day. I'm
If it
going
happened
good.
to the European tournament, then that would be someone else. But here we go then. What do Prodigy have to offer at 11-11?
I mean, they've got a 5v2 situation potentially over here. Rhyme has waltzed his way all the way out shower, and nobody has spotted this. He might actually be able to backstab Zipman here, and that would be a fantastic opening. There you go. Slow orb going to get sent up towards Leo, and he's not going to have an opportunity to peek out. No recon bolt for 5 seconds, so we can't utilize that sky smoke. Spike will go down towards default, and this is a really tricky situation now for FABRIKEN. It's a 4v5 retake. Right now, they're all stacked up in the defender's spawn.
Spike beeping away. Lucker has his recon bolt available to him. And come out from the other side as Rolling Thunder will be thrown onto the site. And now here come FABRIKEN. They're starting to speed things up as the beeping becomes a little bit faster as Shadow finds one. He will now push towards this smoke in cubby. Lucker is going to be there on the right. Shadow gets another. Doesn't get the spray down on the third. Hip and Poor have done enough maybe. There's the Molotov as well just to stop any sort of deny on the fuse. And Prodigy will take a 12-11 lead and will be on match point now. And 1 round closer to facing off against G2.
Okay.
Overtime.
I mean, still a possibility. We've got full buys across the board, but you got to argue now 3 in a row. Prodigy, they got a bit of steam behind them.
Ye's in the chat for overtime, by the way.
Yeah. Spam 1 in chat if you want to see an overtime map before the G2 final.
Spread thin across the map are Prodigy yet again, 2-1-2. Whereas it's more of a heavy focus towards B for FABRIKEN on the defensive side. So we've got Hunter's Fury and Neural Theft on the one side, and then the Showstopper and Neural Theft on the other. And from what we've seen, actually, in this tournament so far, Hunter's Fury has actually been more impactful than Showstopper 9 times out of 10.
It really has. It really has. We've seen some fantastic Sova play, actually, and you know, shout out to players like Shao, Leo. Looked really, really good. Because now we're going to see Spike rotating all the way through the attacking spawn here. Going to get sent over towards the B site where there is 3 defenders right now. And 1 man in the form of Meadow inside the pipe. And he's got his spy cam above long. So he's not going to know anything about Pora coming down here. This could get tricky.
They have the res available to them. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Latex have got the opener, but Showstopper popped. And Latex will be taken down. But here comes Meadow through the smoke to clear up Hip. And now there's just going to be the 3 members of Prodigy. And is there enough time to get the res? That's the real question. Is there even enough time to get the plant? It's down to just 2. Make that 1. And only 8 seconds left. And this is going to be really tough just to get the plant down, let alone get 2 kills. And he falls. We're going to overtime. 12-12. Nothing to separate these two after 24 rounds. But it is just going to be the single round of overtime.
Overtime. Overtime.
Where do you see this one going, Hypoc?
Well, I was talking about momentum, and FABRIKEN have pretty much just put a big blockage in the way. They've stopped it, and you could argue that they've still had a better defensive side than Prodigy have had on attack. Again, that's just purely based on round count. Because They strung together 4 in a row, even though it's 6-6 on the half. Again, everything tied up. They've definitely looked better, I'd say, on defense. You're going to see 3 players stacked up towards showers here. Actually, 4. Yeah, we only got the Cypher lurk elsewhere, and we are going to have 3 defenders over towards A site. You can see the utility about to explode out of showers. And I think this is going to be an all-out brawl here, Dan.
That it is, and here comes all the utility now. Slows, and the wall is available there. Leo's going to be the first point in defense. Zipan takes down Pura, who was coming for that flank, but Rhyme has been able to get 1, make that 2, finds Shadow as well. And even though Rhyme has had a pretty poor game thus far, those could be 2 very impactful frags as the spike goes down. He tries to retreat into showers if he can get past the wall, which he does. Turco uses the rest of the smokes available. Zipan takes down Hip, and Zipan gets a 3rd. Zipan is an absolute beast. Now he has another grenade to work with and a showstopper as well in OT. But no one is going to be there. He's going to have to wait. Latex is going to hold. He gets it halfway. Lucka finds 1. Rhyme gets 1 as well. Can he get the spray down here? No, he can't. Rhyme with the 4K. And Rhyme has gone huge in the final round of the game. I mean, he was on 7 kills before we went